How are you doing? How has your week been? Okay. Yeah, welcome to Made for Exports, episode 13B. Okay, so it's interesting because we actually episode this evening. In Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, my guest is in. Good
Good
evening, ma.
evening.
Yes, the IG cooperated this
Yeah,
evening,
so
so
cooperated very fast.
yeah,
Thank you.
yes. So last week we had a challenge, just trying to get you in and all of that, and then before network itself now was acting up. I trust that it will be a
Yes,
lot
sir.
better today. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the concluding part. So the interesting part was the part that IG Live didn't want us to talk about. And we started talking about it a little bit last week. So for those who are joining us and were not here last week, I'll just introduce my guest again. My guest is Mrs. Bosun Solarin. She's an entrepreneur, she's a farmer, she's an agro-processor, she's an exporter, and she's a seasoned general practitioner in traditional and herbal remedies. She's the visionary founder of Dasun Integrated Farms Limited. It's an indigenous agro-processing company dedicated to harnessing the power of nature to enhance lives. She has a clinic, BUUSTA Herbal and Natural Remedies Clinic, where individuals receive holistic wellness, counseling, and treatment using herbal teas as natural remedies. She has undergone extensive training, including programs from Goldman Sachs, 10,000 Women, the Sherry Blair Foundation, the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation on Women Advocacy, certificate in entrepreneurial management, ITC SME Academy, and so much more. She's an active member of several associations, including the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, SMIDAN, NASIMA. She has also received training from the Lagos State Traditional Medicine School, and that's one of the reasons why she has that clinic. So welcome with me this evening, Mrs. Bosun Solarin. Yeah,
Thank
welcome,
you
ma.
and good evening once again. I'm highly delighted to be
Good
here with you.
evening, ma. Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome, ma. So last week we started to talk about your journey into agribusiness, how you moved out of civil service and you found yourself in agribusiness after you went through a series of trainings, and then you eventually settled on farming plantain. But then something happened and you got into processing plantain flour. But then you now finally found yourself in traditional health medicine. And this was what we were talking about before the network went off. I was asking about um, traditional health and the traditional health and wellness industry. That what's the acceptance like among consumers in Nigeria? That a lot of people don't even understand what the traditional health and wellness industry is. They just know there are other alternatives. So far, in your own practice, what's the acceptance like? Has it gained acceptance among
Yes,
consumers?
thank you so much. We started delving into this before someone was afraid last week and threw me out. Anyway, saying that is to say the acceptance level is still low. You know why? Westernization and religion
Hmm.
has denied us of God's
mm,
gift to humanity. And why did I say that? In those
mm,
days, you see those elderly people have issues, they quickly go into the bush, bring out some leaves, burn it, turn it to black powder, and then they do incision, even for very serious ones, on people. And then they
mm,
press that black thing
mm,
inside the bloodstream, and it becomes, and that
mm,
mark stays. So most of us look at it as being devilish and being whatever name we have all given it. Religion came and didn't help matters as well.
mm,
But do you know that when you're talking of immunization,
mm,
what does immunization do? Immunization is to protect against certain viruses and
mm,
diseases. And when you are injected, it
mm.
goes into the bloodstream, which those
Yeah.
crude ways was all about. But it was easy for us to
Hmm.
label them. In fact, a lady said in my school that she would have come to that school for over 15 years. But her father-in-law said, hey, you want to go and take witchcraft. So that she left. And so she said, you cannot go and
Hmm.
put my grandchildren and then go and collect witchcraft and go into witchcraft sea and come to my son's house. But the school
Hmm.
opened many of us, for some of us anyway. And like I was saying last week, what is traditional medicine? By definition, once you are not in orthodox line, either you are a faith-based Christian or Muslim, and you do a hantu and you use it to pray for people. A hantu is when they write under their board and they wash it off and they ask the person.
Yeah.
Or the Christians will bless anointing oil and say, and anoint you, or say, drink it. Or they use whatever means that
Hmm.
you use for healing, for protection for people. It's a traditional. And so when you now
Hmm.
put the use of herbs into it, then that is herbs. So those are the
Hmm.
uses of herbs and the origin. And people have gone, that's why when you see people who read
Hmm.
botany, it was for them to be able to identify leaves.
Yeah.
But you see, even these
Yes.
orthodox practices, they still have their base in plants, roots, barks,
Hmm.
spices, and co. And they now add chemicals, which now makes that thing have side
Hmm.
effects because they needed to
Hmm.
protect them with some chemicals and co. To them for efficacy and co, which has become. Go and see, for instance. Let me even use you. Sorry, my producer. You wear glasses. I don't know how many people have worn glasses
And
and have
well, this
left
this
it.
this is just
Okay,
for the this is just for
okay,
the
okay, okay.
screen.
Okay, it's
It's
not
not
recommended. Okay.
for my eyes
So
really. Mm. No,
people
it's
who wear
not.
glasses, how many of them have come out of it? They keep going from smaller one to superior ones.
So larger ones,
So
yeah.
it's also these
Mm.
medications. How many people, once they start for BP, that is how they will die. Because they keep advancing. They will start from 5, 10, 15, 20. And then they are taking, not even now amlodipine, they are taking in multiples of different drugs. And those different
Hmm.
drugs have
Hmm.
contraindication that will, that nobody will
Yes.
tell you.
Yes.
So they now start packing people with so many
Mm.
drugs that have adverse effects on their lives. Unfortunately, because that is the way we have
Hmm.
known, and then people will now go into surgery, they cut off some part of their body, people are doing dialysis and co. So if people will be ready now, why people, like I said, why people have been scared, and because we don't know much about herbs and the traditional way. And then for westernization and the religious that have now named them to be. That's why so many, in fact, when we were in school, many of the herbs are in the Bible and in the Quran. for people to use for certain ailments. Ginger is there. Which other ones did they tell us are all there? And so and unfortunately, ginger is so powerful that some of us just cook with it, or I like ginger, but we don't even know the power of ginger, that it works for so many ailments. But now, coming down to this level is to say, it's best when one is not under any medical harassment or challenges, to begin to work on themselves so that they don't fall there. That's why you will hear, say, 25, age 25 is getting diabetes. Some of them are having BPs. It's never the thing. But you know why? Lifestyle issues, nutrition, diet, emotion, behavior, not taking enough water, not exercising enough, are all the basics for why these things happen. For instance, lifestyle. I can drink, I can smoke, I can eat what I like, I can go to party, I can decide not to sleep, I can decide just to be making noise, I can decide to get angry, I can decide to emotions, behaviors, or you have people around you that are just your stressors, because your stress level also has to do with ailments. And that's why you will see somebody yesterday and today you hear that the person is dead, or you spoke to somebody in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes and they say no. And then if you're not careful, you want to even enter shock because you want to say no, it can't be true.
Yeah.
Why? One also is that people leave their health to chances, and that's why from age 40 we all need to keep measuring our BP. In fact, I will say morning, evening, because it keeps putting you in check, so that when it's going up, when you have harassed yourself or a stressor has come near you, definitely it will go up. And if you're not careful, at that time when it's becoming 160, 170, can cause a shock. And that's why you hear heart attack, one thing, or stroke. Then once people have BP, gradually it leads to diabetes, or some from diabetes to BP, then to stroke. The three are relations. They are evil relations that plague people. So what do we need to do? And in our clinic, I tell people, that's why it's based on counseling. In fact, what I even do, I counseled somebody recently, and the person listened and said, I want to buy tea. I said, no, I'm not going to sell tea for now. Those things we have agreed, because when I start counseling, I tell you, I cannot help those who say, this is how I've been doing my things. I cannot help those who say, I'm used to that way. I can't leave it. I like to sleep at 3 a.m. I'm used to it. Then I can't help you. You know why? Because once we talk and we both agree that you're going to change some of those things we have both identified, I can bet you 50% of the healing starts from there. 50%. So when this person says, give me tea, I said, no, I'm not going to give you tea. Go. After 1 week, let's talk. Because then I'll be able to know what we have agreed that you have done has done in your life. But do you know what is funny about life? After 1 week, this person, I was even going to call the person a day before, but I was too busy and I forgot. So the person called me after 1 week and I said, so how far? Any testimony for me? The only one that has worked is that one you said I should not be eating late, eating starch. Now my system is very free. What about the other ones? And those are the cocoa of his stressors. He didn't do it.
He didn't
and he now
do them.
said he didn't do them. And he now said, can you remind me? Okay, or maybe I didn't remember. Meanwhile, he was taking notes because we were doing video
Hmm.
He was taking notes.
Hmm.
Even when we finished, I asked him to, after I read out the notes I took, I asked him to speak back to me. And he was the one who first said, take responsibility for your life. That was his first summary. And it is true. We all need to take responsibility for our lives. Nobody will take it for you. For instance, you have a wife, you have children, you have siblings, you have a mother who are your stressors and they keep putting you in check for bringing money. My lecturer, the PhD lecturer who taught us traditional and herbal medicine said, those things you are insisting and you are killing yourself and your family that they should not do. If you are no more, they will do those things. So why kill yourself because of anybody?
Yeah.
So allow everybody to
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
responsibilities for themselves. So there are people that it is their wife or their husband, their wives, their husbands, their children, their siblings, their staff and co. And like I told this person, I said, come, identify those things and call them to a family meeting. That what will you do if I suddenly I am no more? That what they will first tell you is to fear God forbid. It will not happen. Like the disciple told Jesus. But it can happen to anyone. God forbid, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. The elegant stallion recently, how can one quantify or talk about that one? Because if something was wrong, she wouldn't have gone. So even those who were there were shocked. And I'm sure if some people are not careful, they will still be in shock today. That no, this thing cannot be real. So that's how life is. As funny as that, that is what life is. It is today. Because one people are going through so much. Is it the economy? Is it other challenges? So it has put pressure on everybody. And rather than people putting pressure on themselves, what you cannot change, why not sit down and reassess yourself, reassess your brain. Let your family all sit down with you and reassess yourself. If you die, life will continue. And say, if I cannot do this one, for goodness sake, why can't I leave it? I will tell you, since
For
when
now.
the
Yes.
fuel crisis started, me, and for the first time, it met my car a little after quarter. Ordinarily before, maybe I would have gone to go and queue. But I'm just like, for goodness sake. And let me also be real to you. I don't have money for Uber. It is only if I'm carrying load that I cannot carry on my head that I will go and take it. Because why? Hey, I beg, let's be real. If you have the money, go ahead. If you run a business and you know that money will do something in your business, instead of me to go and put it in
For
another
the
person's business,
business.
my sister.
Yes.
And I've been used to it before that I will just even leave my car at home. I say I'm doing exercises. Because when I'm going to go and enter bus, at least I will do some trekking. It's exercise for me.
Yes.
I
You
walk.
walk.
If there's
You
traffic
walk.
that is
Yeah.
bad, I can come down and
Yes.
start walking up to. If my place is far, that gives me
Okay.
leverage. And I've been used to it as a member of BUUSTA. Many years ago, I used to go and park inside the church. But when getting inside the church and coming out of the church is becoming an issue, I moved out a bit. Coming out is an issue. I park at motorways at the toll gate area and I trek to BUUSTA.
So you just walk down the
Exactly.
road.
So I am so used to, in fact, and I dreaded that thing before that I thought it was a problem. So conditioning about life is all that is it. Recondition yourself to wherever you meet yourself. And today, so when this fuel thing started, not to waste all my fuel, I just left my car. I hardly drive, except if where I am going will stress me a bit, then I'll take the car. because I left. I started managing that, and that is what I'm still on. So except when my auntie gave me some 10 liters on Monday, so I had to go for an event yesterday at VI, and it was an evening event. So because we left there 10, it was for FCMB She Ventures, and we left there 10.
Oh,
So I
okay.
took the car.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
fuel is almost gone, but it's remaining what can take somebody out of crisis. So what am I saying? I will just go by bus.
Okay.
But some people will. Okay, a lady said yesterday that she lives in Surulere. She came for the program. That she took a bus to CMS. From CMS to Lagos Continental on Kufu Abayomi. She took Uber for 5K. Can you imagine? And she wasn't that comfortable. But because one, accessing that place, if you come down at Ozumbambadu is far, and there's no Konope or whatever. If you come down at Adeola Odeku is far, Idowu Martins is far. So that's why she didn't feel too bad for doing that. But there are some of us that want to be like the Joneses. How will they see me when I get there? Even they don't have the money, it's money for their feeding. They'll go and take it and go and enter Uber. For goodness sake, let us be real.
So those are part of
That's
those
us.
are some of the things that stress people.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Because we want to be like the other person.
So far now the acceptability is not very high because of religion and because of our seeming exposure to Western medicine. But then let's talk a little about the products that you have, the teas that you have. How many of them do you have now?
We have 10 variants of teas, and they work for various
10.
Various health conditions. In fact, there is one that is bitter leaf and saint leaf.
Okay.
Those two combinations are
that's
Ewuro and
Efinrin.
Those two are most, and like I said last week, that how I came by, they were individual products before. So I went into researching into all of them, and I found the ones that will not contraindicate, that can be added together. And then why people run away again from herbs is because what's the quantity, and because of what people have subjected the seemingly industry to be, that they just put some concoction together, no measurement and nothing. So those were the major fears in that thing, why people are still skeptical. But as more people, more learned people, especially through the Lagos State Traditional Medicine Board, that's what they call themselves, through the training in the board, then a lot of people will be exposed into that trade, that market, and then they can do things right. Because then they monitor you, they attach you to your local government primary health center.
Primary health center. I think you mentioned that last week.
If I treat somebody now, I should report. If I refer the person, I have reports that I need to fill, and I report.
Right.
So,
so
for me, for the teas, I have for safety, because they're combinations. And then you don't know somebody who has issues with kidney or liver already. So if you and the person may not even know. The person may just be having some symptoms of illnesses and and does not know that the kidney and the liver is already compromised. So for us in Dasun Integrated Farms, we now limited our measurement to 2 grams for just a cup of tea.
2 grams. 2 grams for a cup of tea.
Tea bag.
Are the teas, are they bagged?
They are in tea bags.
Are they in a tea bag? Oh, okay. So that's excellent. So we just add hot water.
Which was why I told you that majority of those who were buying the powder before were using it as tea. So now I can now help them to gauge the measurement. So if you take and you know,
so because you have
go ahead.
because you have put them in tea bags now, the measurement is just right, which is one of the challenges that people always have with traditional health alternatives, that the measurements might not necessarily be right. So putting them in tea bag now makes the measurement right.
So, and I also say after
Okay, so we talked about the ephedrine and
bitter
the
leaf, okay?
bitter leaf.
Then I have
Okay,
moringa, ginger,
yeah.
and lemongrass.
Hmm.
Moringa is an, don't let me call it, it's not God, it's an all-purpose thing.
It's
Gbogbo. So, and then you now have ginger that is almost a gbogbo nishe, and then lemongrass for its own health benefits too. So you have that three together, then you can imagine what it does in the body if all you do is to just boost your immunity against illnesses. Then I have moringa, turmeric, and cinnamon.
Okay.
Cinnamon is good for diabetic patients. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. There is a moringa, and you can find out those effects. Cinnamon too is good for BP and co, and a lot of other things. So you have those ones. Then I have moringa, ginger, turmeric, and garlic. Garlic is a very powerful antibiotic.
Okay.
Then I have hibiscus, ginger, and clove. For those who know clove, some people don't even joke with clove. Some people don't joke with hibiscus. Then I have hibiscus, ginger, cinnamon. Then I have hibiscus, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. In fact, if the Indians and the Chinese people talk, they call black pepper the king of spices. So you have that in that combination too. Then you have cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper for those who don't like hibiscus. You know, I first told you there is hibiscus, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. So now there's a variant that is cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper for those who don't want hibiscus.
Who don't like
then
hibiscus.
I also have cinnamon, ginger, clove for those who don't want hibiscus, ginger, clove. Then lastly, there's what I call ginger plus. That is just ginger, turmeric, and garlic. So choose any of these variants for, in fact, what I have right now is I will just take 8 different tea bags, put it in a pot, put water, brew it, and I keep adding water and I'm drinking it for the day. So that's that. So the various, so people don't need to wait to be, then like I say, so if I counsel and after 1 week, if the person still have some issues, then I can say, and we took that school far, although that wasn't part of the school, but after we finished, some of us still re-enrolled with that, our PhD holder lecturer, and he took us a bit further, and we went into, so if the person say have issues, then I can say go and do a full blood count test for me, so I can read it. Then there are parameters I will know the underlying ailments. Then one can now say if the teas and if the underlying ailments I cannot recommend tea, is either you go fully herbal or I recommend you to go to the hospital.
Okay. Well, anyway, you mentioned last week that you actually sent some of your patients. You recommend them to either the primary, the secondary, or tertiary healthcare services. So that means that, and I like the sound of that. It means that there are some cases that you see, and you know that these ones have to go to a hospital and so you send those ones to the hospital. Okay, Ma, you just mentioned the combination of teas that you have, and I know that the cost of the raw materials for some of those teas in recent time have gone high, like ginger, for example. I know that most
Ginger, yes.
people complain seriously about ginger. So how is this impacting your cost of production and your pricing? Have you had to be changing prices frequently because of the cost of these
Now
raw
that's a
materials?
$1 million question, because for some of us, we were so scared to even add 1 naira. And we were scared to go and put money in ginger. But what was good
Hmm.
was that before that time, I used to buy ginger from Kaduna in bulk and I resell. I process and I sell
Okay.
as a powder to those who do further production. So when it was
Hmm.
getting to time, I stopped selling because I have this drum from Nispri, raw materials, that prevents these weevils from entering.
From getting
Yes.
into the
So
ginger. Yeah.
once I process those my spices and the herbs, I just put them inside that drum. So I still had my ginger there and I stopped selling.
Hmm.
People will say, I beg ginger. I say I don't have. So because then I had just 2 kg. And then one day I ventured, that's about 3-4 months. So I now said, let me even go and try this ginger. So I bought one bucket, one plastic bucket, 4 liters, that came to 2.5 kg. I bought it for 9,000. When I finished
Hmm.
processing it, 2.5 kg, and I got 210 grams. I don't know if you understand me.
Wow.
2.5 kg
I understand. So that means that
is less than,
your recovery
it's
ratio
about
is like
one
1/10,
ratio 1 to 10.
less than one over
Yes.
ten.
So, and I had to put in most of my platform, business
Hmm.
platform, I said, if I tell any of you to come and buy this ginger at 9,000, who will buy it? That is not to talk of processing, not to talk of transportation, not to talk of any other thing. Just the cost of getting
Hmm.
the ginger. And so I'm like,
Hmm.
I better don't do anything because you, well, one is not mindful again of the disposable income of people. So if you think
Yeah.
I will go and buy ginger like that now, maybe I will increase my price. You will be looking at your products. It's better for you to go and just put them in
Hmm.
show glass and be greeting them in the morning, because the patronage won't be there.
Hmm.
So for me, I slowed down. And then two, it coincided for me. That was one good thing that God did for me. With the time I was in school, I finished school in May. I re-enrolled for further one that I just told you, and finished about June. So I've been then, after I did
Okay.
that, and I just told myself after the school that one, let me first face the clinic, which is what I've been doing. And two is to start the business all
Yeah.
over. Since now I have done everything, it's been accepted in the market, then let me go further. So what did I do? I did the analysis all over. I did my formulation again, which now means come rain, come
Okay.
sun. If I say it is only 0.5% that will be inside any of the tea you hold for ginger, it will be the same. It's not going to be a little above 0.5%.
Okay.
So I put all those formulas
Hmm.
together. So I took it for analysis, and for
Okay.
for what's it called, for herbal infusion, you need to do toxicology. So I did, and that's one of the problems in business. Now, coming down, but just because I wanted to register these teas, I've had to go to school,
Hmm.
spent close to 1 million. I've had to
Hmm.
get the clinic, but that's an added one. Now I paid for the test and toxicology out of the 10, because NAFDAC could only register 5 for me. Because again, that's the problem we have. Because they say
Hmm.
it is a crime to be a small business in Nigeria. Not minding that you have the facility to do what you can do, and then you're learned enough to be able to do it. They restrict everybody because they just believe that because some people do there are nano businesses, you lump, when they created nano, you lumped nano and micro together. And nano people do in their kitchen. I have a facility with machines and sizable enough, but you're lumping all of us together. I've been advocating for this. In fact, recently we were in a session with the DG where we said all these ones, but some of these things are policy issues that will take time. But for me, I don't ever. So in fact, any day NAFDAC people see me, they say, I said, that's not it. Some of us, and I told them at that session, I said, ma, I went into farming first. I've spent about 15 million. I can't go to my farm for fear of kidnapping. I have sold my vehicle. I have sold all my shares. I am now staying with agro processing. And with all the money I have spent there again, you people are my problem because I cannot recoup my money because you are limiting my growth. You people believe that once you give us numbers, we carry and we supply stores, then we use Ghana Must Go to take money to the bank every day, forgetting that even the big stores will not pay people in 6 months, where people are running to that for visibility and brand awareness. Many of them will cry at the end, hey, they are not paying me 6 months. Who carry you go there? Me, I cannot go there. Let me be selling the small I'm selling on my own, because I look at the the cost of funds. You will take loan to produce, and they will collect for so many of their centers, and then they're not paying you in 6 months. How are you funding that loan? Because women, we like sentiment. My friend is there, so that when they see me in that store, I shouldn't mention names. So it's a pity, because we always want to be like the other person, so that they will see that at the end of the year I have made 20 million of basic, that they are not counting, because by the time a proper auditor audits their account, now loss full inside. And then these stores will even price you down. If you sell something for 2,000, they can tell you they want to buy you 1,002. So it's a whole lot of issues.
I know that quite a number of people have talked about the issue of stores. I've had quite a number of people come up and say that the stores most times don't pay as and at when due. And it's one of the issues that is there as women SMEs in Nigeria, and one of the issues that we must continually advocate for. And that brings me to my next question. You have answered it partly. And I know that you are at the very forefront of advocacy for non-oil exports in Nigeria. I remember when I met you at Sheraton, I think we went for that. There was this quality thing, NQ,
yes,
something.
National Quality Policy.
Yes. And when I met you and you
NQP.
mentioned, yes, National Quality Policy, NQP, yes. And when you mentioned your name, I was like, I know your name, but I had never met you personally, because I know your name from all of the advocacy that you do in non-oil exports. So looking at Nigeria, would you say that non-oil exports has become easier? And if it has not, what are some of the challenges that we still face?
I can't tell you it has become easier. It's even becoming more difficult with policies, policy statements. Ask me why. I was in I think it was an online meeting. It's still about this non-oil export thing. And one of these so-called consultants, big one, was it PwC or something? The person who came. From the way he spoke, you will just know that they are the ones. Recently they were like, no more export of food products. You will just know that yes, it was because there is no food in Nigeria, because there is food insecurity. So the way he spoke, you will just know that it is from their place that they advise government for that one. And when I was going to react, and I said, it's a pity that those who don't even know what people are going through in their trade, in their businesses, are the ones advising government. I said, come, one, when I joined agriculture, it was because government was diversifying their economy into the non-oil sector. I said, so business, people will come into businesses because there is something that you have used to draw them. I said, did I come to agriculture to do food security or be food insecurity? No, that was not why. And I also told him, I said, come, when you people are saying this thing, is it that when you get to your market, there is no food there, or people don't have money to buy? So when people are shouting about all these things, I don't get what they're saying. There is food in the market, but people cannot buy. And this started from last year because of the two policy issues of the removal of subsidy, which for me was perfect because I used to go and plant rice in Badagry. When you get to Badagry roundabout and you are going towards the border, you will see even women. They will carry knapsack. They all queue in those filling stations and they buy fuel inside the container and put it inside that NAFDA. And they go to the border to go and sell. So for me, it was one finest thing that has happened. But like some people have voiced out, the regulation of the effects that followed was a major problem because one, that oil or the fuel, we're buying it, and by the time you deregulate the effects, it has another ripple effect on what you are buying. So it is too suffering. Then it now affects every other thing. And people will tell you, share Greek too. Why is something expensive? There is that $1 too. And sometimes I just laugh at people because when you don't know, you don't know. The man who is planting, he doesn't buy things. He moves them in vehicles. He lives in a house. He pays for his children's school fees. So where is he going to get his own income to be able to meet his needs? Then too, it's not even like before. Now to get farm workers. When I used to still go to the farm, far back 2017, 2018, it takes 30,000 for tractor to come and help you do this. I mean, what do they call to there's this language we use to plow for 1 acre.
To plow.
Yes, for 1 acre.
Farm.
Yes. So only God will know how much now. In some places, your state, far towards Oja Odon side, towards the border, it's not like that. It's less. But very close by here, it's very expensive. It's cheaper. Then in those days, people will get people from the neighboring countries, Benin, Togo, and Co. They buy them Okada, they feed them, and they go. Now, you don't even get those ones again. So they are now become,
because their currency has become stronger than our currency.
And so by the time they ask you for certain things, you can't even meet up. So those who still have to go to the farm now are having to grapple with these problems. So then see what has happened this year. Where is the rain? Those who have invested in corn, maize this year, I pray some of them will not even die because of BP. Because all through this year, where is the rain? And people start planting from like middle February. So that you expect to harvest that one by first week of April. Those who did that one because it rained one time, not loss. Those who planted after that one, not loss. That's why you see small chinkulating up till now, that it even rains small. It's 300, 400, depending on your area. So then we keep complaining. I have people who complain in my house too that, can you imagine egg? One crate, 5,000, 6,000. I said, because you don't know that they need corn. They need maize, dried maize for the feed.
Yes,
even those who are in
Yes.
fisheries. I mean, those who do catfish, they are all
Yes.
suffering from
Yes.
feed issues. So
Yes.
that's why those things are going on. So these are all ripple effects of some policies. Unfortunately, we have found ourselves there. And those who are advising, those who don't even know how to carry cutlass and weed, because me, I weed in my farm. Even now, I have my herbs farm at home. I weed my thing myself.
Mm.
So I still
Mm.
weed. Sorry not to be too flashy. At 63, I still carry my cutlass and I weed because I'm used to it.
Mm.
Well,
Mm.
what I do is I go there in the morning, I just do 1 hour, I leave it. If I have time in the evening, I do 1 hour, I leave it. Before you know, I've cleared the whole
You go
farm.
back.
Then I wait again till another 2-3 weeks. I do it small, small. Sometimes I'm doing it in 5 tranches or 4, and I finish it. Sometimes if I
Mm.
have enough,
Mm.
if I'm not too
Mm.
busy, I do it maybe twice because the thing is sweet. As you are just doing, you say, okay, let me reach there. You do it. When I finish it, I say, let me just move forward a bit. You do it. I enjoy it. So,
Mm.
so the thing is, people are not finding it easy. So when you now go and say they should tell some people not to export, it's not that there is no food. The thing is still getting rotten away in the farm because people are not buying. Go,
Yes.
go to the market.
Yes. So
Harvest
there's still post
losses.
harvest losses
So that's why
from
when
the
people
farm
are
gain.
saying there's no food,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
not true. Okay, see those who sell yams now. I used to joke about myself or laugh at myself. I said yam used to be medium one 7,000 naira. I said where may I see 7,000 to go and buy yam? There are only 2 people who eat twice. I don't have it. So for 3 months I have not eaten yam till I bought about because it has come down. So those who have
Mm.
invested in that thing, because
Mm.
people are not buying, you still have those post-harvest losses. So enough of people saying there's no food.
Losses.
It is because people cannot afford it.
Mm. Okay, ma. If you were to start your business all over again, looking back at where you
Sorry,
have
can you
come in this
come again?
journey
Your
through
line
your
was
business,
freezing.
what do you oh, okay. I was saying that if you were to start this business journey all over again, what do you think you would have done differently with what you know now? What do you think would have been different in your approach or in the way you started the business?
I can only advise those who want to do it. Because one,
Hmm.
where most people have challenges is in funding. And unfortunately, we don't have that support small businesses very well.
Hmm.
The banks will give you 1,001 reasons why they cannot give you money, especially for agriculture. And then we're wondering what their issues.
Hmm.
I told you I used to go rice in Badagry. From Bagada, I was going to Badagry 4 times a week
Hmm.
to go and tend to my rice farm. There was a day I came back home 12 midnight. You will leave Badagry to get to Bagada is a problem, 4-5 hours. And what was it? At the end of the day, for almost spent there was all a waste. The only time that my rice did well, because then, like this prediction of Nimet, it will rain or it will be too much. We had 2 farms, locations in that
Hmm.
Badagry farm at Berefu. One is a lowland where there is plenty
Hmm.
water. One is an upland where there is more bulk of this like desert sand. This Iyanrin, what do I call it now?
Okay.
So when they predicted that time that
Like
the
sea
yes,
sand, kind of.
so when they predicted that time that the rain will be too much, this one, so some of us were even laughing at those who are in lowland that it because If you just plant, if the water is too much, it will destroy the farm. If you don't have water, it may not do well without irrigation. So when they gave us that side of the farm, we did borehole. So it was like, this one, let the rain, fire and brimstone. Our side will be perfect, because as the water is entering ground, it will be going in. My sister, so we went to plant. At fruiting stage, we were getting there, the place, luscious and co at fruiting stage. Then no rain, and we just needed about 6 weeks to harvest. We engaged people to put water because we had boreholes. We did it at a time. One day, I just what they call in business parlance, that just cut your losses and move on. So I had to tell the man, don't bother, just leave it. And about 7 hectares, because I had a group that we all were going from Lagos, we're doing well. They all dried up. Even those who were in lowland, they didn't have water. In fact, that year, those who even planted 2 acres bags of rice. Meanwhile, they should have over 20 of paddy. So agriculture, and then I was telling people that if we had a good place where things are moving, it will say, who comes to help? I have wasted all my money, like those who are planting maize and corn. They have wasted all their resources. Then some people still want us to go and borrow money. Who is going to go and put it there again, and it gets wasted? So we should have a system that when there are obvious losses like that can help them come back to business. But we don't have it. Till today, I don't know what.
Like a bailout.
Till today, I don't know if that place is still functioning. Because eventually, meanwhile, I rented a place where we're keeping our equipment and co. I had to just go and give out the house, and I carried some of the things we bought and came back to Lagos. So that business, with so much money for over 3 years. Going to Badagry then was costing 4,000 when things were not difficult. I'm talking of 2019, 2021.
Expensive.
4,000 per day, and I would go sometimes four times. And we were paying 30,000 for them to weed your 1 acre. It was 30,000. So it was a dream. Then you also see my farm in Ogun State that ran away because of fear of kidnapping. So you keep losing money. So that's people who want to come up. Greek, think and well. Planting, it's difficult. And now they have come back to plant what you can plant in your house. How many you want plant? So we still need those people who are doing this smallholder farmers, so that everybody can carry it to the market and people can eat. But when they lose all their investment and they cannot go back, what happens? Now 36 plots, 6 acres. For over what, use it free, so that the place does not become bushy. It was just recently I had people, I said, just go and use it free.
Yes.
So that, because before I start to go and be cutting trees there. So it's that. So for me, it's easier when you want culture to move to agro processing. The risk there is lesser, because once you have processed, you still have about 1 year, from 6 months to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, nothing will happen to what you have processed. So the value chain is large. Do you want to go into logistics in agriculture? You want to go into warehousing? You want to go into selling inputs and co? You want so many do. But for me, I have settled down with agro processing. And while doing that, like I said, or I don't know if I said it, you know, sometimes when you have purpose, hey, I started that over your life, and you keep walking along that purpose to a place where you will know, okay, I have reached where God wanted me. So for me, when I did my clinic, I knew I am fulfilled. Maybe because I do advocacy, because for me, I don't want, I like to, yes. So maybe that's still part of me, but I prefer that angle, because I can talk to people to take their lives seriously. Take responsibility for your life.
Mm. Mm. Okay, Ma, I know that we've spoken about the wellness center quite a lot, but I also know that there was a promo recently. So just tell us a little about the wellness center. Where is it located? The promo, is it still on for people who want to come and take advantage of the promo, or the promo has gone, maybe it's coming back during Christmas? But tell us where the wellness center is located.
I hope I got you correctly. The line has been freezing and on.
Okay.
But
Okay. Can you hear me
if
now,
I
Ma?
got you correctly, hey, I can hear you now.
So I was asking about the wellness center, that you should tell us where it's located, and if the promo that you had is still on, and how can people reach out to you if they want to come to the wellness center?
Yes, the wellness center is located. In fact, the name is BUUSTA Herbal, still the name of my tea and natural remedy clinic. It's located at Bagada, very close to the Bagada General Hospital. And I don't know if you have seen, you would have seen the
Okay.
pictures of the ambience. But if you haven't seen it,
Yes,
yeah,
I have.
so
I
then
have.
it's, and I
I have.
call it a haven for healing. Because when you are there, if you are opportune to be there, you are just, it's a place of tranquility for me. And then your mind is at rest and you can hear. But outside that, even if it is online, because services now, especially in the course of AFCFT, it's there's trading services. So for me, that portends another angle for us to be able to work all over Africa and even all over the world, because we do counseling online. So you don't hide, it doesn't have to be on site.
Yeah.
If you may even be next to me and you don't want to come, you want us to do it online. Thank God for social media, that at least two of us will be seeing ourselves and we'll be talking. AI has made it so simple, also record what we're saying. So that each of us can go
Yes.
back on it. So that's that. The counsel, the consultation thing. It's for 1 hour. The promo has ended. No, there were two promo. The normal price is 10,000.
Okay.
There's an opening promo that is 5,000, and there's special promo
Okay.
for 3 weeks that was 2,500. That one has ended. The promo that is on now is
Okay.
5,000.
Okay.
And then for that session, after
Okay.
I speak
Okay.
for 1 hour, then I give the person the second free chance again for us to review what you have done that we agreed on doing. That one too is free. So it's like the person will want payment.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
if and I have to do
Okay.
test or do whatever and I have to read the result or give it to somebody to help me interpret. And then one of the things you talked about, the referrals. When we were in school, we had, because in our class we were about 85 that went for that training. We had people who were in TBAs, those are traditional birth attendants. We had people in faith base. We had acupuncture, naturopathy. What do they call all that name? So we did all that. So if one needs to do any of those ones, I want to major in nutrition because nutrition was one of our courses. We even did anatomy and physiology to tell you that it wasn't just more training, because you're going to treat somebody, it's head to toe, and you need to understand how the body functions before you can treat somebody.
Yes.
We did nutrition, we did skincare, we did formulation of so many things. Even if people have mouth odor, I can do toothpaste for the person to get rid of it. We did okay. In fact, don't let me. Then primary health care, extensively and apart from botany, traditional and herbal medicines. So it was a big thing. And one other thing it still gives you is that your network there. So if, for instance, there are people who do prostrate, who treat prostrate, there are people who treat fibroid, there are people who treat. If anybody comes to me through whatever and I counsel, and I can say, if you want, I can help you find out who can do this one that will know, and one can ask you to. So that I hope I've answered.
Okay, ma. Yes, definitely, ma. So the people can if you want to reach her, you can reach her through her IG. That's Dasun Integrated Services on Instagram. So you can then send her a DM. And like she said, the sessions don't have to be physical. You don't have to come into the physical clinic, especially if you are not in Nigeria. You can just have an online counseling session, and then she can talk to you from that online session. So for the teas, ma, do you provide distributorship? I know that for auction, because of course, but as part of what you did before now, do you have distributorship opportunities? So if people want to market the teas. Okay.
Your line keeps freezing today. Instagram is putting your network is bringing it to your doorstep today. While me, I'm a bit okay, but it's all good, because as you put mouth in the question, I already can envisage what you were trying to say. Now we're back fully. Now I'm settled now. So what we do is my retail price is 2,500 per tea. I have some teas that are 20. I have some that are 15, depending on the materials and the cost of raw materials. Then my wholesale price is 2,200, and then you must be buying a minimum of 25 to get it at 2,200.
A minimum of how many?
25 packs. So for those who are going to resell,
25. Yes, okay.
You can sell it, because if you get to the store now, most herbal medicines go for 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 and co. And those are just two materials. So I have my own, apart from the bitter leaf and scent leaf, that is just two. Some of my own are 3, some are 4. So depending on the variant that you want.
Yes.
So it's available now. In fact, in 1 week time, I'm even going on an international exhibition, 3rd MSME Africa in Namibia. So I'm taking BUUSTA Herbal Blend teas to Namibia, to the South African region, and taking BUUSTA Herbal and Natural Remedies Clinic. Because when I'm even going, I'm going to wear my medical jacket, and I'm going to use my ID card from Lagos State Ministry of Health there. So it's
wow. That's lovely, ma. Please take enough pictures so that we can see Southern Africa through your eyes, and we can see the convention, the fair through your eyes. Then my last question is this: so if people want to use the teas as souvenirs, do you package for people as souvenirs? Then if they want to buy bulk sizes, like I want to buy 5 kg, 10 kg, is that something that you do?
No. won't offer, because you see, we're talking of medicines now, herbal medicines, not just production of spices. So it's not what I can give. The only thing I can do is if someone pays me to do, but these are still challenges we have with NAFDAC. If someone pays me to produce, you have your formulation and you want me to produce it for you, and you have your facility to package it. So it means you will register your facility. It's easier because once my place is registered with NAFDAC and it's already registered, because I used to have 7 products before, so it's a place. And then once I start my process of this tea, which is the next, once I come back from Namibia, since I already have all my analysis and toxicology tests, is to file it in and I start the process. So hopefully by December, because it takes about 3-4 months, so hopefully by December it will be out. So we're fully back in business. But already we have FDA, we have HACCP. HACCP is Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, a third-party certification, acceptable world over. So with HACCP, I can sell anywhere in the world. With my FDA, I can sell everywhere in America. But it's only Nigeria that will not let me sell if I don't have NAFDAC. And people will tell you NAFDAC is not necessary for your products. And I advise them it is necessary. You know why? Even in international trade, every country has specific country requirements. That's a mandatory requirement. So it's mandatory for every country. And then they say, some people will also tell you, NAFDAC is not recognized in the world. They cannot recognize NAFDAC the way NAFDAC too will have to register products from China, from any other place, because those products must conform, either because of the taxes they are collecting and the tariffs, or whatever reason. It must bear the mark of the mandatory requirement of that country. So that's why when people say NAFDAC is not necessary, it's not true, because that's your country mandatory requirement. They will accept it for their own requirement. But they have the what is it called? One of their roles is to register package that for safety requirements that will be consumed in the country and for exports. So if that is a standard that people must conform to, if you just saw today and I saw you liked it, you see that Ethics First is a SIPE, Center for International Private Enterprise. It's an American company supported by many people. These standards that they want businesses who want to do businesses all over the world to conform to. So, and then when you start the training, you finish the training, and you to the certification, they list to others. It's now almost 2 years. And they just listed me officially today because they mentioned LinkedIn. It was posted on LinkedIn with a mention